Hello, and my name is Luke, and welcome to my podcast about horror movies. And I'm with
Harry Courtney.
right. We're gonna go straight in.
Okay.
Do you First of all, do you watch horror movies?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And what sort of horror movies do you watch?
I watch pretty much any type of horror movie. My favorite type of horror movie would be sort of paranormal and things like that.
Any specific type of paranormal, like Paranormal Activity, or you know?
I'm not a big fan of those ones actually. I find them quite cheesy.
Yeah,
I prefer like Insidious, or there's this good film called The Fourth Kind.
yeah,
That's quite good.
yeah. Why do you watch them?
To be scared.
To be scared?
Yeah.
Do you get scared by them often?
Yeah. I wouldn't say like I come away from them scared. I get scared watching them 'cause it makes you feel uneasy.
Yeah.
Which is quite exciting.
Do
I think
you
that's why I watch 'em.
do you watch them with friends, or do you watch most of them by yourselves? Like,
Normally, I will watch them with friends. Yeah.
yeah, is it is it like a hobby like you do?
I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's just sort of like when you've got a load of friends around, it's like, oh, let's just watch a scary
Yeah.
film sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's more sort of like that, I think.
And going to old horror movies,
Mhm.
do you watch many old horror movies?
Yes, I am a big fan of the old ones. I like Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, all of those old classic like slasher films.
Do you find yourself watching the older horror movies more than you do the new ones?
I think I used to watch a lot of the older ones more because like newer horror films has only really just become a thing, hasn't it? Like
Yeah.
recently, in the last 5 years, people started making more horror films. So I think I used to watch more of the old ones,
Mm.
but now I've got through most of the old ones. I just watch new ones, really.
Do you think like recently horror movies have got more popular than they have back when The Exorcist and stuff like that was being made?
Well, I think horror films have always sort of been popular, haven't they? So I don't know whether they've become more popular. I suppose maybe more younger people watch them because about when old horror films came out, they'd probably only be in the cinema, wouldn't they? So you'd have
Yeah.
to be 18 to go and see them. But now you just get them anywhere. So I think more people watch them now.
I mean, going to what you said about like more younger people watch horror movies now. Did you ever watch horror movies when you were younger?
Yeah, I watched all the old ones. So I watched like not Halloween, sorry, Friday the Friday 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street.
And
I got the DVDs and I watched them on like a portable.
nice.
Yeah.
So what do you think about them watching them from when you were younger to when you watch them now?
When I was younger and I watched them, I found them terrifying. now when I watch them, I just watch them because it's a classic.
Yeah.
It's like throwback.
Do you right? What do you think is the biggest difference in old horror, like when you compare the classics like Nightmare on Elm Street, your Friday the 13th, to what you see now with like Sinister, Insidious,
Yeah.
and different movies like that?
I think like the older ones, they'd have you got the character. They had very iconic characters like Freddy and Jason,
Yeah.
and they're sort of other than they've sort of got personalities. Now you very rarely have a character with a personality. It's normally an amalgamation of things. And I think the thing with the old films was they had quite a lot of dark comedy almost. Maybe
Yeah,
not whether they were trying to, yeah, but like
I'd agree with that. I'll
Yeah.
agree with that. Do you think like old horror movies, they've had to like with the characters, they've had to adapt to like the way people are now? Because obviously now you don't really see your classic Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees. You see like a ghost or
I think horror films now they learn to become a lot more formidable. So they sort of they know that having characters aren't as scary as the unknown. I think
Yeah.
what happened. I think that's what happened now. That's why we see less of that sort of thing.
yeah. See, I reckon like now I reckon people find not being able to see the
Yeah.
like the enemy is
It's
more
scary.
yeah, it's
than
more
seeing
scarier.
it, yeah. I think Alien did that quite well.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing with Alien is because it was very dark. So
yeah, so you couldn't see
even when you did see Alien, it wasn't like
the full thing.
yeah, and it didn't really like shine out
Mm.
as of to other villains. Do you find the newer sort of horror villains better than the old ones, or do you prefer the still prefer the old ones?
I think I'll always prefer the old ones just 'cause that's what I used to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just there's something like I don't find Freddy Krueger scary anymore because he talks, which is just weird. When I never find he's too human, I think, but I still find Jason scary because he doesn't say a word. He just
Yeah,
stares, and it's kind of creepy.
I think going back to like what you were saying about Jason, I feel like the music that they use
Yeah.
while he's chasing after people. Same with Michael Myers. Do you reckon that has a big effect on the character?
Yeah, I think it sort of adds to the character, doesn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's got. Because you sort of know, you hear the music first, and then that's when you know he's around. Even if you can't see him, it's sort of when you hear the music, it makes you feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and going back to music, you don't really hear as much music with villains in the newer horror movies. And
Yeah.
why do you think that?
I think old films, they didn't have very good sound effects, so I think they relied very heavily on their music. But now we've got, you know, really fantastic sort of sound mixing and
Yeah,
all of that, so we can do a lot more in scenes with just sound. I mean, I still think music in a horror is key, but I mean, in the old ones, you'd have music all the time, all the way through. Now you get like, you know, in those films, you get like moments of silence, and you get like the creaking of a floorboard or stuff. Those things have all become, I think, as the technology to make sound effects more scary has come around. So we use sound more
so-
sound design.
So like the tension,
Yeah.
like when they build a tension. Do you think when you watch horror movie now, because obviously I believe they rely on like tension a
Mhm.
lot in these new horror movies. Do you reckon that will become a downfall because obviously people can predict horror movies now?
More easily.
Yeah.
Sure. But then the thing is, it's very hard to change, isn't it? I mean, how do you flip that?
Yeah, I mean, there must be a way.
Yeah,
surely.
I'm sure someone will do it eventually. It's just, I'm trying to figure out. That's why I'm probably, that's why I'm not a massive fan of sort of. I don't think I would. I mean, you get some directors that just make horror films.
Yeah.
The whole time. I wouldn't like that because you can't really surprise people with a horror anymore because it runs by, like you said, it runs by these
Yeah.
conventions. So I think that's the slight problem with horror, is that it's always stuck in its own sort of
Own sort of like loop.
loop.
Like
Yeah.
you got the stereotypes. You know, you got the jock.
Yeah. How do you break away from that? Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would actually really agree with what you're saying there. And going back to what you said with effects, do you
Mhm.
reckon they rely on CGI too much now? Because when I went to watch the new Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
like that whole character was CGI, but back when they first started making
It was
Nightmare
all
on Elm Street,
makeup.
yeah, it was all makeup.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes, I mean, especially bad CGI can completely ruin the effect. Like, what Stranger Things, and they built that up,
Yeah.
and that was really scary until you see the creature at the end, and it was horribly CGI'd.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, well, that's not scary at all.
I watched a movie called, I think it's Mama.
Yes.
Did you know when you finally see the woman
Mhm.
on it? Did you think that CGI was too much, or do you reckon it was like did you find it creepy? Because I was sort of stuck in the middle, because obviously I could tell that it was
Mhm.
CGI and it was really really fake, but at the same time I still found it quite
Creepy.
quite eerie and creepy.
Yeah, I'd say only use CGI if you really know you're gonna be able to pull it off. Otherwise, you run the risk of everything you've built up to, you
Yeah.
ruin it basically, don't you?
Well, what did you think about the Mama movie?
I thought it was, I thought the
'Cause
concept of it was quite creepy.
obviously before it came out, everyone was like going mad over
Yeah.
it. Everyone was like, "Oh, Mama, it's gonna be great."
Yeah.
I thought it was like it was alright. It was like a typical horror movie. I reckon, like, it starred a little girl that sort of came got possessed in a way with
Mhm.
intertwined with like a ghost, and I think they use that quite a lot recently in
Mm.
horror movies with the ghost intervening with
Yeah.
other people. Um, I was also gonna say about remakes,
Mhm.
because obviously you got as I said, you got Freddy Krueger. They use CGI. What's your view on remakes?
Mm. I think maybe if the film itself was bad, and then you think, oh well, we could the concept of the story could work quite well, then yeah, sure, do it. But I think if it is such a good film,
Yeah,
and it doesn't need to be remade. What's the point?
yeah. I suppose that. I mean, like, what are your views on the new Blair Witch Project?
I've not seen it.
You, I haven't seen it, but going from the new one, I think it really like badly affects the way people look at the old one. Because
Mm.
obviously the old one was based on like the whole true story aspect and like this hand cord, and like you think that the characters die at the end,
Mhm.
and then to the new one where you see in the trailers, it's he thinks she's still alive.
Mhm.
Do you reckon that would ruin the movie for you? If you went to watch the new one and then you went to watch back to the old one that said it was a true story?
Possibly, yeah, yeah, because it's kind of ruined the mystery of the first one, hasn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember that I wasn't aware of the film when it came out, but I know that a lot of people were saying, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, 'cause it's real." Everyone was
Mm.
telling them, and that's what worked really well. I guess that kind of ruins it in a sense now that those rumors are debunked.
Yeah, yeah, I sort of feel the same with that, like the way everyone used to think like it was a true story, and
Yeah.
like you would hear from people, like, I would hear from my dad saying like, oh, by the way, this is based on true story, and
Yeah,
you sort of sit there and be like,
yeah.
oh my god, like shit, this is actually
Mm.
based on something real. Do you think they use the true story aspect to make people more scared? Because obviously, when you get told it's a true story, you
Yeah.
sort of sit there like this could really happen to me.
Yeah, I think that definitely works as a tool.
Do you think it's overused at all?
Slightly now, I think. Possibly, yes. Especially when it's so completely unrealistic
Yeah,
and they say it's a true story. Like they said that the Human Centipede was based on a true story.
yep.
Of course it was, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is quite a crazy horror movie, to be honest with
Mm.
you. Have you seen the
I've
new
seen,
ones?
I've seen all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not that great.
Do you think people watch movies like The Human Centipede and that because it goes somewhere like
Yeah, well, yeah.
it's just cringy?
Yeah.
Do you reckon that's why they're so popular? Not because it's a good bit of filming,
Mm-hmm.
it's because it's like cringing. It goes past like the dark side of horrors.
Yeah, I think that's why, 'cause it's sort of people watch it, don't they? They're like, oh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
And everyone talks about it, obviously. So when everyone talks about it, you're like, oh, this is messed up. This is one of those things you watch, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, let's watch that messed up film,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
I mean, when you go to like old horror movies, you have like slowly they started making more genres of
Mhm.
horrors. Do you reckon that's still happening today with the likes of Saw and Hostel?
Possibly. I think new genres have come around the more we come into the 21st century, I assume. 'Cause like Insidious is sort of that became its own. That's sort of its own genre thing now, isn't it?
Yeah,
'Cause you've
yeah.
got all the like the Conjuring and all of that. So I think
Annabelle and all
yeah,
them.
Annabelle. So yeah, I think that started off its own sort of genre.
Yeah. Lastly, what's your views on Annabelle and the fact that they're making another one, and you got the Conjuring series, and it's sort of like a Marvel universe. They're sort of intertwining with each other.
I think it's clever because going into it from the other films, you know that it's gonna be a good. He has the director James Wan. He has a very specific way of making his horror films.
Yeah,
They all have that. They all follow the same sort of structure. For example, the demons, they always have the same sort of eyes.
yeah.
So I think it's. Oh yes, I think it's good, and you know that it's gonna be a good film.
Do you think, like movies like Insidious, and do you think future movies will starting doing this thing where they
link
intertwine?
off to.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Do you think it's a good effect, or do you reckon it's
Yeah, I think it could work. It's just whether it's
a tricky one?
it's whether it depends on how it's done, really, doesn't
Yeah.
it? So
But yeah, that's been the horror podcast today. Thank you, Harry,
That's
for
okay.
for doing
Mhm.
this, and